Wait for the music to drop. Happy Wednesday. Good day. Welcome to MLB Props powered by the Bat. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. Thanks for joining us here every Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, 9:30. Framber didn't help us, but we got the Tariq Skubal, who, I mean, what a battle from Skubal, who took a liner off the hand again, which was the same spot he got hit like 2 starts ago. And then as I was watching on the app, I saw another injury timeout. Let me know in the chat. He was at 5 2/3, and I don't know if it was his injury. It was on a ball. It wasn't a foul ball, so it probably was. Has something to do with him, but he muscled it through. I don't know. How did you get a chance to watch anything yesterday? Did you get a chance to dig into anything, or is it just numbers as usual today? Life with children is difficult, yes.
Yeah, I looked a little at some of the leashes. Guys were getting pulled.
Pat Murphy's going to get killed in Milwaukee. Right? The Freddie Peralta leash yesterday was it's not good.
So I mean, that's playoffs. It's what we expected. So we're just going to keep rolling with it.
Awesome to hear. You mentioned right off the top. We mentioned right off the top yesterday. Interesting to see that there was a lot of outs markets. Well, guess what? Just 2 guys today.
Yeah.
Max Fried, 17.5 plus money to the under. I get that the Atlanta bullpen's beat up, but if things are going off the rails, you don't just let it go, especially in an elimination game.
Yeah, it's tough to figure him out because, like you said, the Atlanta bullpen really is it's very beat up. Everyone's been used the last couple days, but it's an elimination game, so it's tough to know. I mean, the under does look appealing on him, but he might not have that typical playoff leash just because of the bullpen. It's tough to know.
Yeah, but you can't imagine the Braves just trotting him out there while he struggles to be like, no, we got to can't hurt the bullpen. Don't care. Last game of the season, your bullpen's going to pitch. Hit that like button, producer Mick says. But as far as baseball games go, the Detroit game was amazing. The KC game was right down to the wire, another tight one. And I just got some Bobby Witt 40-1 ALCS MVP, which is crazy odds for the number 2 position player in the American League. Is either going 2 or 7. Milo, that's a great thought. He either goes 2 or 7, and he's been going deep, and it's going to be funny. From shitty to gritty, the Mets. There you go. It's been a great run. I mean, that Mets game was absolutely awesome too. So let's get right to it. This is how we're going to do the release procedure. We'll tell you the book, tell you secondary book, tell you the game, the market, the player. You let us know where you're betting it, where the number is. See how it goes. Sean Manaea outs at 15.5 is a little funny too. He's been going well, but Michael King was just missing bats last night. Like his whiff percentage was insane, and the Yankees are trying to think about why didn't we ever give him a rotation spot? Oh well, that's where it goes. Be interesting to see, but I don't think Musgrove's going to have a long leash today, considering the pen, and that's where we are in Game 1. Atlanta, San Diego, 365. Hard Rock BetMGM. And we were talking about it yesterday. Couldn't find your projections was high on him too, but couldn't find the daily special for him to lead in case. Probably wouldn't have been a ton, but brutal.
Yeah.
That one was so off market from the other ones too, right? Like the other ones were even money plus 105. Hard Rock or BetMGM. If we can bring BetMGM.
Yeah, I think we lost 10 points here. If we could go to MGM, I think it's got better. Yeah. Yeah, that works.
All right, let's go. Release number 1. Let's go Joe Musgrove under 4.5. Hits allowed plus 105. Musgrove under 4.5 hits allowed plus 105. like I said, King went 21 outs, saved the bullpen. With the bullpen's been off, so it's an elite bullpen. So they're going to want to get him some arms. I wouldn't be surprised if he was on a hard cap blueprint of 5 innings pitched or 80 pitches, something along those lines, and then they have a plan for the bullpen.
Definitely. I'd be surprised if he goes any deeper than that. And I think there's a chance he even goes shorter than that. Wow. MGM pulled it right off. Hard Rock had the same number. I think there's some plus 100s out there, DK 365, which are definitely fine. Musgrove, short leash. That's really what this is about. The bat's projecting 74 pitches. Could throw 80. I mean, we never know in the playoffs. There's a lot of variance, but should be a short leash here. And that's what we're looking at.
We're seeing the move across the market. DK even to minus 110. If you saw me changing my screen in the background, I had my pitcher edges and angles. I mean, everything still comes from all of Derek's numbers. I had the Musgrove on there, but I didn't want to send to Twitter until after we released it. But that's where it is there. So I think I released it plus 110 on that. So even money 105 still good in my books. I think Derek agrees there that maybe even money.
I'm fine with even money. I'm fine with minus 105. Even minus 110 is okay.
Did you give any thought to the Musgrove under 0.5 walks at plus 190?
I thought about it. I don't think there's enough value there. But there does project for a little. I like the hits more though.
Yeah. So it's always interesting to see where books know where to pull the value from the unders. If unders are going to project well across the board just because of volume, obviously the outs are gone. Strikeouts kind of goes that way too. And it seems we're starting to get those hits allowed market a little more just because they're slower to move.
That's what it seems like. Yeah. Like there's not a ton of value on the strikeout market unders today. Obviously the outs market is not really even available. But yeah, the hits and the walks are maybe a little bit slower to react. It seems like these short playoff leashes are maybe not totally baked into these, which I'm happy about.
No, yeah, managers are silly. What's the guy's name in Kansas City? Quatraro, the manager? Yeah. Let me know in the chat. I think that's his name. Anyway, Ragans was dealing yesterday. Absolutely dealing. 80 pitches. Gone.
Yeah.
Out the door. So you're seeing these, and that's what we kind of projected. These newer managers, right? Pat Murphy too. They think they have to do something when in turn, maybe not doing something is a better option.
Yeah, it's tough to know, but I mean, the numbers really do show like the third time through the order, even if a pitcher's going really great through the first two, you want to pull them before the bad thing happens, not after, which is kind of what old managers used to do. They wait till something bad happened and then they'd pull them. Being proactive about it kind of is the smart statistical thing to do.
All right. No, coming in that he had a footy cramp, a calf cramp, something we'll call it a lower body injury there. Bobby Newport asking, do we have a Lugo pitch count estimate for today?
Yeah, so he's obviously playoff leash plus on short-ish rest. I think he threw 39 pitches like 3 or 4 days ago.
Saturday.
Yeah, I think the bat's projecting around 75. But again, in the playoffs, these are really just kind of estimates, but we should expect, I think, a fairly short leash for Lugo today.
Yeah, and I think that's what I had him for. I have him for under the 4.5 hits allowed. I think it was like minus 115, just because there could be some outcomes where they might already have a piggyback option within Lugo's start.
I was hoping we'd get an outs market on Lugo today,
Yeah.
but that's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, so interesting to see. And always love those guys where there is the angle for lower volume or guys who can get that under 4.5 just on full volume too, right? Like there's a few of those guys like Shane Baz at the end of the season, guys who can just dominate. But if Alicia's short, even a better edge. So we get Musgrave there. Let's go over to KC Baltimore at 365. MGM, ESPN, some secondary books. Pitcher walks. But outside of like Reagans and Skubal and King, like the strikeout game wasn't very strong on the other side. Burns struck out what, like 3 over 8?
Yeah.
Valdez struggled to miss bats. Numbers there. You want to sweat? A little afternoon sweat? Zach Eflin. Not to walk anyone. Plus 165. This market was last time we saw Eflin. We had the 1.5. What was it? What was the Yankee game?
Yeah, it was the
Plus
Yankee game. It was 1.5 plus, I don't know, 160 or 140.
Oh, okay, it was a big one. Okay, yeah. Yeah. He's walked like more than one batter in only 2 games all year, and they were both versus the Yankees where it was like 4 walks. So
yeah, he walked 4 against the Yankees, I think, like both of his games, which thanks a lot. But the Royals are not the Yankees. They do not walk nearly as much. Obviously, under half a walk is always going to be a real sweat. But Eflin's control is elite. So I'm okay doing this here. You know, it is what it is. He's a guy who kind of has a short leash to begin with. And it's the playoffs. Like, he really could be gone after 60 pitches. Like, it's possible. I think the Bats projecting 75 today, but he could be gone very early just because that's how they treat him, and it's playoffs.
Yeah. Yeah, the O's 0-9 straight up in their last playoff games. Like, panic button could be like, and 3 innings. Thank you very much, Zach Eflin. Like, we need other guys. We need other guys to pitch, right? Like, again, there could be a piggyback option right here. Tom Tremblay says, are the dogs going to bark again today? I had the 3 dogs in the early game just on a $25 flyer that paid, what, $300, which is pretty funny. Anytime you can get 3 front-end starters as dogs, it's kind of just some pizza money down there. Full unit play on Eflin. We grade it. We always grade those as full unit plays. It's up to you. Imagine trusting Baltimore's bullpen. I mean, it used to be the best in baseball. Metler says they will be roaring. That is a terrible joke about his Tigers. Tigers lines. Yeah. Great big names out there in Detroit. But that's where that is. Looking at, I know no projections or anything there, but something that I picked up today was looking at the MVP markets. I don't know why I just looked at them today. Probably should have looked at them yesterday and going into the playoffs. Shohei Ohtani to win World Series MVP at 13-1 is obviously the betting favorite for it. I get it. But like, the more I talked about it, the more the number doesn't make sense. If the Dodgers are plus 350 to win the World Series, is Ohtani really 3x the difference within that team? Then you add in the possibility of him pitching. And then you're like, if he's pitching and hitting, like, he should be at like just double, maybe like 700. No, do you agree with any of that?
I do. I mean, plus 350 for the Dodgers to win feels a little aggressive.
I know that number seems short. I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, but relative to that, the Ohtani number seems off.
No. Yes. Also got some runs to the ticket counter. Plus 1,400, 365, plus 1,300 bet through, DraftKings. I didn't really run too far over. But I mean, was looking at the Austin Wells angle for ALCS MVP, just like, okay, they're going to walk Soto, walk Judge, and like Austin Wells hitting in the 4 spot, like, will have cracks to knock in runs, right? But I'll give him that. He's 25-1. Like, Bobby Witt Jr. is 40-1 to win it. Obviously, they have to go through New York, but if they knock off New York, he knocks off like 8 guys who are ahead of him in the odds. And then on the other side, I took Tatis at 25-1. Yesterday's home run obviously swayed things, but great bullpen, great pitching. Going to be some low-scoring games. He's going to get the most at bats if you see something there.
Yeah, I like that.
San Diego looks good. They're plus 500 to win everything. Everyone's jumping on San Diego.
San Diego's a good team.
Very good. If you got Yu Darvish as your number 3 or number 4, like, you're doing pretty good. you got Dylan Cease as your closeout guy in game. Like you can have who's going today? Musgrove. Like yeah, they have Musgrove at the number 2 guy today. Like getting silly over there with the town. Hit that like button. Thank you, producer Mick. Let's go there. Let's go with the second game. Late game, sorry. Joe Musgrove under 4.5 hits allowed plus 105. We locked it in there. And then Zach Eflin in the second of 4 games today. Under 0.5 walks allowed. Seeing everybody else's bets filtering and trickling in. That's what we got today. We got Before You Bet coming up at noon with Joe, John, and John Middlecoff. And then Derek and I, more releases after a winning week 4. Very good week 4 from the Blitz. As we look at Thursday night football's matchup, Tampa Bay, Atlanta. Looking at your numbers, they don't like Bucky Irving right out of the gate. That's for sure.
Yeah, there hasn't been usage adjustments made yet, though. I think he's going to go up.
Okay. Yeah, it's just interesting. But like it's there was a point where everyone was talking about him, but maybe we've saturated the market because of it. So it'll be interesting to see if some of his stuff does project a little under because everybody likes him. But should be a good game. Another indoor game, I believe, right? Tampa Bay at Atlanta?
I believe so, which we should certainly have some plays going in that one, I think.
No. And I mean, the indoor play, Seattle, Detroit, same thing, right? Like 300 billion yards from Geno Smith. It's just so funny. Like I don't even want to talk about it so much because it should be priced in more, but it's amazing that it isn't.
Yeah, it really is.
Passing efficiency, passing volume, pretty much passing everything per carry, per attempt, everything's up. So let's go. It'll end up being a field goal fest somehow. Hey, you're not wrong. It is Thursday, right? Like the Thursday games do that. There's going to be a ton of injuries again. If Kirk Cousins is going to get injured, sorry, Atlanta people, it's going to be on the short week, probably on Thursday. So who knows? We'll see how it goes. But that's everything for today. We'll be back for 2:15 here. Get Before You Bet at noon. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is MLB Prop Picks, powered by the Bat. See you back here Friday, 9:15 a.m.